YouTube, Pewsily here. Just bringing you the Dark World Turbo deck list from the last duel video if you've seen them. But yeah, it's just won my last locals with it. So figured out, after they won the YCS, might be worth giving them another try. And then you go and win a local, so they've obviously got potential. The guy that won the YCS had a lot the same ideas as me. I took a Dark World Turbo build to a locals a couple of weeks ago. It did alright, but nothing spectacular. But I was looking at it and was sort of like, oh, maybe it's worth only running 2 tour guides, because if you draw into the third and then your drag downs are kind of dead until you draw into a learn, so you can banish it with that. And I was teching in 1, the huge revolution is over, and then decided to change it for Starlight Road because Stardust is just an extra beat stick, and it's sort of like a win condition by itself. And then there's also I teched in 1 extra silver because I had trouble not drawing enough monsters, so I figured that it's not going to make an enormous amount of difference, but having that extra monster there, it's helped. I found it was a lot more consistent than it was before. And the one idea that Mike Balan had that I didn't was the Malefic Stardust dragon, so I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, anyway, you got your 3 Grapha, so obviously Mana Tree, he's your big beat stick. He's just a tree-born frog with an enormous amount of attack and an extra effect, so he's awesome. And then your 3 Snow. Generally when you use Snow's effect, what you're probably going to search out is another Snow, because a lot of the time you'll discard him and have like another Dark World Dealings or something in your hand but no monster or something, so you're just going to get another Snow, because it's better to search out a Snow than search something you might need. So you got your 3 Brow, so he's a tour guide target and extra draw power, so sometimes you'll find yourself discarding Brow rather than Snow so that you can draw into cards that you've sided in or something like that. And then 1 silver and 1 beige. Beige is good because you can normal summon him, bounce a Grapha, discard, special summon, bounce a Grapha. Like I say, silver I teched in just because he's an extra deck devastation virus target, and he's a massive beat stick, so he gets over like Cyber Dragon, and you can't use Thunder King to negate his summon because it's by effect rather than just an inherent summon. So that's the Dark World part. And then next, 3 tour guides. No Sangan, because what's Sangan going to search? In like a normal build, so not a thermal build, I would run Sangan, because Sangan can search you out your Trance Archfiends. But in this build, just 3 tour guide. Was considering dropping it to 2, but it's really, really tough decision. I might try it next, but at the moment I would rather draw it and have a tour guide than risk drawing 2, because the odds of drawing 2 when you run 3 are lower than the odds of drawing 1 when you're only running 2. So it's, I would rather run 3. It's just a personal preference. And then lastly, I managed to get a hold of a Malefic Stardust literally 2 minutes before the tournament started yesterday. So I took out an Opstar Goblin and threw him in just to see what he's like, and he's really good. And the reason behind that, so many reasons. He's dark with 2 500 attacks, so he's deck devastation virus fodder. Secondly, he protects this, one of the most important cards. Thirdly, he's a special summon, easy as hell to get out monster that can beat over Evil Xylargia. It's an enormous plus to it. The fact that if they go Dolka, you go, hi, yeah, I'm going to run over. Or if they go Largia and you summon this, they basically have to negate, or they've got back row. So he's just awesome. He was really, really good. I probably wouldn't run more than 1 though. Then onto the spells, you've obviously got 3 gates. It's just amazing. If you watch my duel video as well, you saw me sort of search out a gate and then destroy my own gate with another gate so I can draw more. And the reason behind that is if I search for something like Dark World Dealings, my opponent draws as well. So then it's increasing their chance of getting something like Heavy Storm or Dark Hole or Gores if I don't have a Starlight Road or something. Whereas this, I've already got a +1 off of using gates and discarding a Dark World monster, and then by destroying my own gates for another gates, I'm break even, so I haven't lost anything. So it's just an amazing card, and it's the reason you can run Triple Reckless, because you don't need to draw when you've got that. Next up is 3 Dark World Dealings. It's just amazing. Mike Balan put it well when he was talking about it in his. If you haven't seen his YouTube channel is DD Spade, so go find him. But the odds of you running into a mirror match for Dark World nowadays are slim, because nobody really plays it anymore because it is inconsistent. So Dark World Dealing is an amazingly consistent discard card for you, and it's extra draw power. It's amazing. It's like a Destiny draw with Brow. So I would rather run them and then have it as a dead card in the Dark World matchup than not run them and then get owned by like Inzectors and stuff because I don't have the extra draw power. So it's worth it, and it just gives you something easy to side out in the Dark World matchup. 3 drag down is amazingly pro. I need one more that's first edition. If you've got one and you're willing to trade it or whatever, then let me know. But yeah, drag down's awesome. The knowledge of your opponent's hand is amazing. Like for more competitive players, being able to see your opponent's hand is almost as good as the discard that you're going to get and hitting a card in their hand. And the fact that you don't have to hit a monster, you can hit a spell or trap, means that if you set all your spell and traps and they've got Heavy Storm, you can hit the Heavy Storm. So it's just amazing. And if you run it, it combos obviously amazingly well with Mind Crush, and again it's extra draw power and discard fodder. So just like I say, the knowledge that you get of what your opponent has on that is amazing. So opening with a drag down first turn is awesome. You got the obligatory card destruction. So once yesterday I opened with card destruction 4 Dark World monsters, so I won that on turn 2. It's just unbelievable. Like if you're up against a Dark World player who plays card destruction against you, solemn it. It's unreal. And I even played it again in the mirror match against the Spectrum, and just because I knew he had no Dark World monsters, so it was awesome. Anyway, 2 Upstart Goblin. There was originally 3 in there, and exactly the same as Mike Balan did, I dropped an Upstart Goblin when I got hold of a Malefic Stardust, because there's no point running 3 Upstart Goblin in a 41 card deck. And Upstart Goblin just provides a little extra boost of consistency, because I don't want to run Pot of Duality, but then this is also incredibly easy to side out. If you're up against something you're like, I don't really want to side out anything, like my traps or anything like that, but I want to side in, another skill drain or something, just drop the Upstart Goblins, because the Upstart Goblin, basically, you draw this, and it becomes the next card that was in your deck. So if you played Upstart Goblin and drew into a skill drain, and the Upstart Goblin was never there, you would have drawn the skill drain anyway. So that's pro tip on how to side, drop the Upstart Goblins. Next is the one of, so you've got 1 Allure, 1 Foolish, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Heavy Storm, and 1 Dark Hole. No like Book of Moon or MST you'll see as well, just because space is so tight. I've got 3 MST in the side, but my side needs work, it's pretty crappy. But there's loads of articles on MST at the moment where if you feel like you can get away with it, then don't run it. It's not here, and I just won a locals, so just side it. But, Foolish Bale to drop Grapha. Allure of Darkness helps you to drop, well, obviously it helps you draw more, but if you've got a dead Tour Guide in hand, you can get rid of that. Or if you've got like a Malefic Stardust with no gate, then obviously drop that. And Monster Reborn is just mad pluses, so like Monster Reborn, a Dark Monster, bounce it for Grapha, normal summon it, bounce it for Grapha. So, pro card right there. Reckless Greed, I've been running it for a while. It does take practice using Reckless Greed, but you don't just play it willy-nilly. The reason it's so good at the moment, obviously, as well, is if you chain it to MST, then you don't minus. So your opponent loses MST, you lose a Reckless, and you draw 2. So at that point in time, you're +3. Your opponent's lost a card, you've lost a card, but you gain 2 cards. And then you lose 2 draw phases, so you end up break-even. So, yeah. Reckless Greed is awesome. Basically, Reckless Greed is your trigger button. When you flip a Reckless Greed, you should be exploding. 1 Starlight Road, just as a tech. Where you draw so much, basically, you're going to draw into your one-ofs a lot more often than other people. So, just having 1 Starlight Road, you're going to see it a lot more often than if, say, like a Hero Beat deck just tech to Starlight Road. And the major reason that you want to run it is just to prevent Heavy Storm. If you don't have a Malefic Stardust Dragon to protect your gates, then if you're setting all your back row so that you can get a drag down off, then this is going to protect those back row. 2 Deck Devastation Virus. This is sort of one key difference between my build and Mike Balan's, apart from the silver, is he only ran 1, I'm running 2, because it's such an amazing card. Drawing into 2 sucks, but I would rather draw into 2 than not draw into any. So it's just unbelievable. I mean, think about it, it wrecks wind-ups, absolutely wrecks them. If you chain this to the activation of wind-up rabbit, because the banish is part of the effect for rabbit, you kill wind-up rabbit with this. You hit rat, hunter, the tour guide, Sangan, shark, basically all of the wind-up deck. And like in rabbits, you hit some key cards. In Zectors, you don't want to hit the hornet, but you hit the dragonfly, which is good. One solemn and then one skill drain. So solemn also plays the role of like another Starlight Road, but it's more flexible, so you can negate the summons with it as well if you have to. One tech skill drain, just because you want to see it, but you don't want to roll on it. So then there's another one in the side deck as well. So there we are. That's the deck. Probably going to test it out a bit more and see if there are any changes that need to be made. Sorry. Thinking maybe of dropping the silver for something, but I don't quite know yet, because it was good. Like I say, it's just deck devastation virus fodder. But yeah, there we go. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that jazz.